If you were inspired by my video about using paddle boarding for mountain bike cross training and got a paddle board, or you already have one or thinking about getting one, I'm going to show you a pump that will save you a lot of time. I had a pump that I plugged into my car, an electric pump, but that thing was slow as molasses. I could literally pump up 2 to 3 boards by hand, which is not an easy task, by the way, before that thing would pump up 1 board. Now, if you're new to paddleboarding, you've found out that using a hand pump works, but man, the last 5 PSI, it's a lot of work, and it takes 5 to 10 minutes to pump up a board. So I'm going to show you a pump that I just got by Outdoor Master. I got online and just looked for some rechargeable pumps that I could use, because the thing about the one that plugged into my car is I had to leave my car running. So, you know, the car's running for like 10 or 15 minutes to just do 1 board. It wasn't practical at all. So I've got a rechargeable one by Outdoor Master. And I looked online and I was looking at what is the best paddleboard pump that's rechargeable, and Outdoor Master came to the top of the list. So I reached out to them. They sent me one to review because they've sent me helmets to review. So if you're not familiar with my channel, I've done some helmet reviews by Outdoor Master. The best value in mountain bike helmets, by the way. So let's take a look at the Shark. So like I said, this thing is rechargeable and it pumps up 4 boards. And the way this thing works is you just hold down the power button for 2 to 3 seconds. It'll come on. And then you just set your PSI. And once you set your PSI, you tap the power button and it will start inflating. Now, when I get to the river tonight, I'm going to time how long it takes me to pump up 1 board. And these are your indicators to tell you how charged it is. So there's 4, and this thing will do 4 boards recharged. And of course, it plugs into your cigarette lighter as well if you want to do that. And you can recharge it that way, or it can recharge by USB-C. I may show that at the end of the video a little bit closer. But then when you're ready to pump, you just hit the power button and it's going to start inflating. And the cool thing about it is, you know, you've already set your PSI, so you just kind of do your thing, get ready for your paddle while this thing's pumping up your board. So I'm going to head over to the river. We're going to see how long it takes me to pump up my boat paddleboard. Time to put this thing to the test. By the way, this thing has a ton of different adapters for air mattresses and rafts and whatever else you want to inflate with this thing. Okay, the moment of truth. How long is this thing going to take to pump up my board? I'm going to go to 13 PSI. Get the stopwatch ready. Here we go. What's cool is I can now finish getting ready. Put my paddle together, put my booties on. Dude, this thing like shifted into high power mode. As soon as it got to like 2 PSI, the noise just completely changed. It's cranking, dude. Took 3 minutes and 54 seconds. That's great. To 13 PSI. And so it took me, I would say if I really kept going with a hand pump, I could do it in 5 to 6 minutes. If I was taking my time, it'd be about 8 minutes, and then I'd be pretty tired. And like I said, the other one that I had that I already sold on Facebook Marketplace, the one that plugged into my car, that one took 10 to 15 minutes. I am back home, and I want to mention a few things about the Shark pump before I wrap up this video. I had a really nice paddle, by the way. It was a beautiful evening, did 5.5 miles, great. So, a few things about this. First of all, it has a really nice carrying handle and makes it easy to transfer. And it's not that heavy, like I don't know the exact weight. And then it also acts as a power bank. And by the way, it does have little suction cups on the bottom, so you can just set it on your board and it's not going to move all around. So it acts as a power bank. So you've got a USB-C input there for charging this pump, but also if you plug a USB-C cable in there, then it will charge your camera, phone, whatever, and you don't have to power this on. You just plug it in and it starts charging your device. There's your DC input, so the car adapter, which is really cool because if you're driving to your paddle spot and you forgot to charge this thing, you can just charge it up on the way there by plugging it into your car outlet. This is for inflate, this is for deflate, so you can deflate your board if you need to. I typically don't do that, I just push the air out. Also has different modes. It's got kite and mattress. So I'm going to power this thing on and I'll show you. I noticed in the first video that it was flickering, the screen was flickering. It's not this, it was the refresh rate on the camera that I was using. This is a different camera, so this may be better. So I've got it in SUP mode. You can go up to 20 PSI on this pump, and it supports 45 watt fast charging. I have not timed how long this thing takes to charge. I'm gonna guess maybe 2 hours, but don't quote me on that, but 45 watt fast charging. So this little button here is to cycle through the different modes. So you've got SUP, and then you've got kite, and then you've got mattress. And I think that's just so you can set different PSI. Now the mattress mode goes by time. I haven't used it, but evidently you can set, instead of PSI, you're setting time of how long you want it to pump. The SUP mode is the one that I use. And I'll just say, this thing is such a time saver and effort saver. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, getting that last 3 to 5 PSI into a board with a hand pump is a chore. In fact, like when I go with my wife paddleboarding, she'll start her board and then I'll finish it up, because it's just hard for her to finish it up with the last, last 5 to 8 PSI. So I can do both of our boards in under 8 minutes while we get ready, and that's great. Like you saw, by the time I put my gloves and everything on, got everything ready, this thing was done. And this is the Shark 3. That's the model. You probably already saw that in the title of the video. I have a discount code for 20% off. Normally this one is $180, but if you use Clint20 at checkout, which I'll also put in the description below, you will get 20% off. So you can't beat that. Questions or comments, drop those below and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.